So, as we all know, that Hikaru Nakamura has become the Fischer Random Chess Champion of 2022, and it is the first time that Nakamura has become a champion in any of the formats. But one thing to say is, still Nepomniatchi is second here as well. Okay, let's quickly look at all the games. What has happened between Nakamura versus Nepo? It was very interesting fight and very interesting 5 games that have happened. Okay, so this is the first one. Here, Nepo is white and Nakamura is black. And as you know, it's the Fischer random, so pieces are arranged haphazardly. So let's start. So white started with pawn to b4, b5. The point of b4 is that bishop, rook, and the queen are getting opened up. So that's why I think white have decided to play b4. Okay, so now here a4, here exchange, then e6, knight c3, knight g6, knight to g3, and as you can see, I have set up the bar as well. So every time after every move, it is getting changed. So it will be helpful for you to know. So f5, e3, bishop e7, b5, castles, then rook to a1, f4, knight g2, then here f takes, d takes, then pawn to c6, knight d4, pawn to c5, knight f3, bishop f6, rook to a3, then pawn to d5. Here, Nakamura is trying to grab the center as much as possible. And see, it doesn't matter what's the format of the game, it's very important to follow the basic rules. So here, Nakamura is going to cover the center. Bishop e2, rook to b7, castles, queen to b8, then pawn to e4, then pawn d4, knight back to d1, bishop to d7, c4, d c3. See, and percent is obviously on. Then knight takes, then pawn to a6. Here, the move played was pawn to e5, and I think it was not that good. So here, just Nakamura played pawn takes, then bishop takes, knight takes, and have played knight takes pawn. See, the thing is, if he will play rook takes, then this is coming. So I think that's why he has avoided it. So just knight takes pawn, then knight to c3, knight takes f3, pawn takes. Here there is a weakness that has been created, that is this two pawns, and which are very ugly two pawns, doubled pawns. So rook to b4, queen a6, bishop e5, then here knight to e4. So here amazing move, bishop takes h2 check. So going for a Greek gift, but here it's not a Greek gift because if you are aware, then queen is supporting this bishop. Okay, so king to g2, bishop back to f4, here queen to e5, then rook f1, rook takes, going for exchange sack, pawn takes, then bishop takes, rook takes knight, then queen check. Wow, then king f1. See this how the game is going on completely. Rook takes, queen takes check. Here king back on h8, but it's safe because like even if white will try rook takes, there is queen takes rook. And here as you can already see, black is up a piece. So just few moves to go. And here after this, all this things, the rook c2, but it's nothing is helpful here, obviously. Just rook d4, queen f5, queen e7, f4, and g6. Here in this position, Nepomniachtchi has finally resigned and Nakamura has won the first game. Okay, now let's look at the second game. Before looking on the second game, I have a request. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I will try to bring more and more such videos for you in this type. And you can comment what kind of videos and what you want from me. So I will try to create it more and more. Okay. Okay. So now let's continue. So this is the second game, and we are looking it from the Nakamura side only. So again, the first move is pawn to b4, then b5. Here e3, knight g6, knight g3, e6, a3, a6, rook, sorry, bishop to b2, f6, f3, knight to f7. Here knight to f2. So kind of similar structure in terms of knights you can see, and we can term it as king side for now because king was here. Okay, and now here it's knight g to e5, then bishop e2, bishop b7, castles, bishop e7, knight f e4, d6, d3. So it's all same. So you can say it's whatever opening you can name it, and it is a symmetrical variation, I would say. Although there are no opening names in the Fischer random, but still. Okay, f5. So here knight back to d2, g5, here knight to h5, g4, f4, then knight f3 check. So here he has to take with the bishop because the problem is if pawn takes, then pawn takes is coming with this check, and obviously this he is going to lose here, and then this bishop queen diagonal is there. So it would have been very deadly. So that's why Nakamura has decided to take with bishop as only, not to take with the pawn. Then pawn takes, then he first played pawn to g3 to avoid all the trouble on this diagonal. But it's just a matter of time. So now just rook to g6, knight f6 check, bishop takes, then king move to d7, rook b to e1, rook b to g8. Now here Nepo is trying to line up against the white king, and there is like so much attack coming up. Here Nakamura has to be very careful. And although Nepo has lost first game, so obviously he will play like a Nepo style, and Nepo style is to go aggressive. Now pawn to e4, e5, then f takes e5. Here you can already see that bar is showing that it's good for white. Let's see what has happened. Queen a7 check, king to h1, f takes e4, knight takes e4, rook to e8, and here again it's showing like equal position only. Again bar is shifting towards the white side. So as you can see, the attack that Nepo was trying to do was like completely Nakamura has managed to stop it, and just now rook takes h7, and now again the position looks equal. Then king to c8, rook e7, rook ef5. Then here they have played lot of moves. Here just he was attacking the queen, and here Nakamura was defending king g1, queen to b6. Here knight f6. Okay, almost you can see that computer is showing that it is plus 3.6. So let's see where Nakamura has gone wrong. Here queen c6 was played by black. Then knight takes d5 was also correct, or else I think no, knight takes d5 is also the computer's choice as well. Rook c1 check, king move to f2, rook to c2 check, king move back. Here according to computer, and here I think Nakamura might have missed, or maybe he was in time pressure and was not interested in going into the variations, that the move suggested is king to f3. Okay, so let's just quickly look what will happen if you place king to f3. So let's say king f3, rook takes d5 check, now sorry, queen takes d5 check, then there is queen to e4, then queen takes e4, let's say rook takes e4, and these two pass pawns are very dangerous. Okay, that black will take one, but this pass pawn will be just enough for white to win. But here what has happened? Let's go back. Here after the check, king g1, then rook c1, king f2, rook c2, king g1, and it was a draw by repetition of the moves. So I think he missed king f3, but obviously it was very difficult to find that move. But else, still, it's a very good game. There was a lot of attack coming up from Nepu, but Nakamura has managed to counter down that attack very properly and has managed to draw. So you can say a fair result. So this was second game. Now let's go on to the third game. So this is the third game, and here Nepo has managed to do comeback. So that's why we are looking it from Nepo's side. So Nakamura have started with e4, d5, then here pawn to g3. So pawn takes, bishop takes, g6, f4, queen d6, queen to e2, then knight f6, bishop g2, bishop to c6, knight f3, knight b6. So both the players are just developing. So here even the you can see this castle. Okay, and this is termed as a short castle. Huh? So I don't know how is it a short castle, but this is a short castle. Like computer has marked it as 0-0, not 000. Okay, okay. So bishop f2, knight b d7, knight b to d4, bishop to d5, c4, bishop takes f3, bishop takes, then c6, knight to b3, e5, bishop to e3, a5. So here again, Nepo is trying his best for the attack. So here comes d4, e d4, knight d4, then rook to e8, knight to c2, b5, and this was a long castle. Again, we will see this. Like this castling Even this is a long castle. King never moved only, but it's the long castle. Okay, queen to c7, queen b3, bc4, queen to c4, rook takes e3, knight takes e3. Here still the position is still equal. Here almost 20 moves are done. So queen b6, queen to b3. Here again Nepo is trying his best to attack because he has to score the win. So queen a7, queen a3, then knight to d5. Here you can already see that position is going into the Nepo's favor. So here he has played knight to c4, rook to b4, bishop takes, c takes, knight e5, knight takes, f takes, bishop takes e5. And here you can see, although like according to the position, if we will analyze this, then he is exchanged down, okay, but has one pawn advantage. Okay, Nepo is exchanged down, but having the one pawn, and this bishop is also very powerful. So you can say it's as strong as rook pawn now. So rook to d2, queen c5 check, king move, then bishop takes b2, then queen f3. So now he's two pawns up. So I think enough compensation. So queen to e7, rook e1, bishop to e5, then rook e3, d4, rook to b3, rook to c4, and then rook to b7. Here again we can see the position. The Nakamura is trying to get the position back into the hand by doing some counter attacks, but Nepo is smart. So queen to e6, rook f2, trying to put lot of pressure on this f7 pawn. So that's why first of all he played bishop to c7, cutting down this attack from the rook. So rook to e2, queen d6, rook d2, and it was a big mistake. Like as you can see, till here it's equal according to computer, and here this was a mistake. Rook d2. So here queen c5, king e2, rook c3, rook d3, queen to c4, pinning the rook. Then rook b2, bishop to d8, h4, bishop e7, queen e4, bishop f6, rook d2, then rook a3, h5, king g7, queen f4, g takes f5. Just, you know, at our level, what we think, like even I would think in this situation, I would never think of taking this pawn. I would say, why should I damage my pawn structure and let my king be open for the attacks and checks? But this is what the top level thinking is. Nepo said, okay, I don't care about the pawn structure. Just let's go for g takes h5. Then queen f5, h6, king f2. Then rook takes a2. Then here king g2, a4, queen takes h5. Then bishop to g5. Then queen to g4 was a big mistake. And here just queen d5 check, f5, queen e2, rook takes, and bishop takes d2. And here it is completely winning for black, because even when here to already Nakamura have resigned, even if queen takes, then he has three extra pawns against he has four pawns against one pawn of white, so he has three extra pawns. So it's completely winning for black. So that's why Nakamura have resigned, and Nepo has managed to do a comeback. So now let's go at the very interesting game, that is the fourth game of the finals. Okay, so as Nepo has managed to do comeback, so we'll see this game from Nepo's side, and it ended pretty quickly. So pawn to g3, d5, knight b3, g6, d4, knight to b6, knight f3, knight f6. So you can term it as four knights game. Like if it was e4, e5 opening, then it was four knights game kind of structure. So now here comes knight to c5, knight b d7, then bishop to b4, then knight takes c5, bishop takes c5, knight e4, bishop to a3, bishop b5, pawn c3, bishop g7, knight e2, bishop h6, f4, then pawn to f5, knight f3. Nothing much is going on. It's completely a closed kind of position. So you can say not more of the Nepo style position. So pawn to g5, knight e5, queen e8, bishop takes e4, f takes e4, queen d2, and g takes f4. And here both the players have agreed to draw in just 15 moves, because I think they wanted to go for the very special, very amazing Armageddon. Okay, so after the four games, the result is equal 2-2. One game Nakamura won, one game Nepo won. and then there was a draw of two games. Okay, so now very special, the decider of the finals. We will have a look at the Armageddon. Okay, so let's have a look at it quickly. So now we are in the Armageddon, and in the Armageddon, Nakamura is white and Nepo is black. So let's see what has happened. So again, started with the B pawn that we have seen in the first and second game. B3, B6, E4, E5, pawn to G3, pawn G6. Again, symmetrical variation. Then F4, F5, F takes, bishop takes. Then here E takes, bishop takes H1, bishop takes E5, then G takes F5. So you can say already the thrill have started on. It's just the seven moves and thrill is already going on. Then bishop back to C3, bishop to C6, knight E3, queen H5, queen F2, then knight to H6, knight E2, then knight E6, rook F1, king to B7, pawn to D4, then knight to G4. Again, Nepo in his style, going for attack, attack, attack. So here just queen takes f5, and here you can already see that queen takes f5 is a mistake. Here queen takes have been played and Nepo has missed a very amazing move he had. Here the correct move to continue was queen to h6, going for this pin. So I will just quickly tell you what will happen. If let's say queen h6, queen takes g4, then he can play a move rook to g8 first, attacking the queen. Let's say here where this queen will go, like wherever the queen goes, let's say here, so he cannot go, and even there is no square where the queen could go to defend this knight because these two squares are taken by the bishop. So wherever the queen would go, like even let's say f5 or something, this is coming and there will be a lot of pressure and lot of threat. So but Nepo have missed this. He went for queen exchange. After knight takes, then knight takes h2, rook to e1, rook f8, knight e3, bishop to e4, d5, knight to g5, knight f4, rook d e8, king b2, then bishop f3, pawn d6, c6, knight to c4, knight e4. Now, although when the queens are not there, then attack is not of that power. So you can already see that's why this position is equal. So now knight to e5, knight takes c3, king takes c3, bishop to g4, then rook to e3, h5, rook b e1, rook takes e5, rook takes e5, knight f3, rook e8, rook f6, rook h1, rook takes d6. And now the position is coming into the white's favor. So rook to g8, rook d2. Here it's just a lot of endgame. Just knight takes h5, then bishop f5, targeting for this c2 pawn. So rook to c1, rook h2, knight g7. Then bishop e4 was a mistake, and from here it's completely into the Nakamura's favor. So he went knight e8, rook h6, then rook to f8, d5, rook f6, rook h3, knight d6 check, then taking the bishop, and then rook to g6, saving the pawn. Then rook to h2. Here you can already see that white is already exchanged up, so it's going to be good only for him. So rook to e6, rook e2, rook h1, d5, a3, rook e3 check, which was again not good. After rook h7, king b6, rook e7, targeting the a7 pawn. It's just completely lost. But still, Nepo has tried for king c5, rook b7, knight f3, and after b4, king c4, and rook to h5. Nepo has finally resigned because it's just coming the mate in 3. Like, what will he do? Like, this mate is almost unstoppable. How will you stop this mate? Like, what? There is nothing actually to do. Okay, if I will talk about computer. Computer says go for this, then rook takes, then computer says go for this, then king takes, and then go for this, then go for this mate. So this is what computer is suggesting, and this is how the checkmate was coming. So that's why here in this position itself, Nepo has decided to resign, and Nakamura have become world champion in Fischer random format. But still, obviously, any format, it is standard or Fisher random, it's equally good, I feel. And first time, it is, I would say, the biggest achievement of Nakamura's career that he became world champion in any of the format. So I would say special congratulations to the Nakamura, and hope you all have enjoyed this video. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more such videos.